Tonight on The Pulse, we have stories of streaks. A year-long losing streak, a 2-game streak that Oski hoped would not become 3, and a Penn team hoping to streak to higher rankings and a division title.
State Senator Tom Riley may not be representing Oskaloosa for much longer, but his 2 daughters hope to represent Oskaloosa on the court. We'll tell you how, right here on OSP. Welcome to another edition of Oskaloosa Sports Pulse. I'm Jason Van Zyk.
And I'm Jason Madison. It's been a tough go for the Oski Indian football team after starting the season 0-2. That record reflects a 50-7 blowout from number 9 Grinnell at home 2 weeks ago that had the team doing some soul searching. With a chip on its shoulder, OHS made its way to Carlisle last Friday in hopes of something better. In Doane Hicks Complex last Friday, the Wildcats' option offense were off to the races, racking up 22 points in the first quarter to the Indians' goose egg, but that changed a bit in the second quarter. After some defensive adjustments, Oski started to get the ball moving, including this 2-point conversion by number 28 Jared Pace to cut the deficit to 22-8 to end the half. Heading into the second stanza, Oski nearly shut down Carlisle, only allowing 1 score, while the Indians' Austin Redlick shifted the game's momentum in the fourth quarter with a 36-yard interception and score. Unfortunately, a 29-22 finish was as close as the Oskaloosa Indians would get, falling to 0-3 on the year. After a disappointing start, Indians head coach Mark Schill praised his team, especially the defense, for showing glimpses of what the young men could be if they played with that type of poise shown in the second half.
Down 21-22 in the first quarter, we could have laid down, and we didn't. Our defense came alive and started playing a heck of a lot better. I thought Coach Dowdy, Coach Sterner, and Coach Maddie made some great adjustments on that option, and that's, it's tough to look back and think we should have done some of those things at the beginning of the game. It may have been different.
Oskaloosa hosts Sheraton, which is 1-2 tonight at the Lady Stadium. Kickoff is scheduled for 7:30 p.m. I'm Jason Madison.
On the college front, WPU continued its undefeated season, improving 3-0 with a 31-9 win over Luther at the Lacey Stadium last Saturday. With that Penn win and a few top 10 losses, the Statesmen move up in the rankings. As the NAIA released its first regular season top 25 poll, the Statesmen jumped from number 14 in the preseason to number 7. Defending national champion St. Xavier, Illinois, still number 1, while Marion, Indiana, Georgetown, Kentucky, Morningside, Iowa, and Missouri Valley round out the top 5. William Penn travels to Forest City Saturday, opening league play against Waldorf at 6:30 p.m. Last Wednesday, William Penn volleyball team returned to Oskaloosa Wednesday for its home opener, hosting Loras College in non-conference action. But 2 players, well, it wasn't just a reunion, it was also bragging rights on the line. OSP's J-Med has more.
In a perfect world, you expect the last showdown and perhaps the ultimate clash between 2 sisters to happen nowhere else but in front of a local crowd that has supported them from day one. Well, that was the setting for the final showdown between the Riley sisters.
It was a bittersweet ending. Before the game, I texted her and said, she was worried about the crowd. I said, don't worry about the crowd. Love you, you'll do great.
With words of encouragement from Katie to her younger sister Shawnee, a sibling rivalry was still at hand. Since the 2 started facing each other on opposite ends of the court in college, the match count was split down the middle at 2-2, giving Katie a few flashbacks she would like to erase this time around.
The last time I played her, she blocked me twice, and the gym was silent, and she starts just cheering by herself. Nobody knows what's going on. She got me.
Even though the 2 are foes for the night, family is thicker than water. And Katie is proud of the progress her sister has made, regardless if they're facing one another.
Seeing her now in college, it's like, wow. I remember when I was having to teach you all this stuff, and now there's things that you're teaching me.
As epic as it sounds, the match between Loras and Penn went down to the wire, giving the sisters more time than expected to settle who would be bringing home bragging rights for weeks to come.
Going into the third game, I was like, okay, we just got to finish it here. And then, that can't happen, so we went to game 5. And then I pulled the girls out in the hallway, and I just said, I don't want to lose this match right now.
After the pep talk, the Lady Statesmen were able to hold off the visitors in the final set, winning 15-11. All in all, it's just family fun out there on the floor, and in the stands, the sisters' parents saw that.
You could always hear Dad. I mean, I'd be on one side and he'd be cheering for me, then the next moment he's cheering for Shawnee, and Mom doesn't really say anything. But it's hard for them, I bet, but I mean, they wouldn't trade for anything. They love watching us play each other.
William Penn kept the ball rolling and added a few more W's over the weekend. The Lady Statesmen made short work of non-conference foes Iowa Wesleyan and McMurray, Illinois, sweeping both teams in 3 sets last Saturday. The team took a few days off from competition this week, but heads to Clinton this weekend for the Ashford Invitational. We'll have those results for you next Friday at 5 p.m. here on MCG Channel 7. When we come back, we'll hit the ground running with the Indians cross-country teams as the program held the Oskaloosa Invitational at Edmondson this week. Keep it locked.
You should see my bank. It can do awesome things. Mom says it's just like the Four Seasons. Always there. Helping communities grow and be a better place to live and work. All because my bank lives here too.
Live Iowa, work Iowa, bank Iowa. Member FDIC.
Bates Funeral Chapel, where community is more than just a location. Where compassion is more than just a feeling. Where history is more than just a time. Bates Funeral Chapel, where service is more than just a word.
The doctor is in and no appointments are needed. Come to Dr. Salami's today and let the doc heal your hunger. Come to Dr. Salami's for friendly staff, casual atmosphere, and good friends. When you get here, you'll be treated to affordable prices, hearty portions, and good food. So come on down to Dr. Salami's today, your place for good friends, good food, good times.
If you buy the renegade idea that investing should be discussed face to face, not just inbox to inbox.
If you believe that your relationship with your investments shouldn't be long distance.
Join the nearly 7 million investors who think like you do. FaceTime and ThinkTime make a difference.
Join us.
At Edward Jones, it's how we make sense of investing.
Visit one of your friendly Oskaloosa reps today.
Great moments are born of great opportunity. Meant to be here tonight. One game. This is your time.
The Oskaloosa volleyball team was in action at the Southeast Polk Tournament over the weekend. The Indians went 2-1 in pool play with 2-set sweeps of Pella and Des Moines Hoover before being swept themselves by the host Rams.
After receiving the number 7 seed out of 20 teams for pool play, the Indians faced number 2 seed West Des Moines Valley. The 4A Tigers took down the Indians 21-15 and 21-7. The Oskaloosa volleyball team returned to action this Tuesday in Knoxville for another conference clash. The Indians pulled out a 3-2 match win against the Panthers, but went down in the 5th and final game. Offensively, Oski was led by Kate Hasselman with her 23 kills. That was made possible with the help of setter Allie Christensen with her 51 assists on the day. Defensively, Ketta Veldhuisen led the Lady Statesmen with 14 digs, and Hunter Shaw added 2 blocks. OHS moving 9-7 overall and 2-0 in conference action. Oskaloosa's home next Tuesday facing Pella Christian in dual action beginning at 7 p.m.
Tuesday, the Indian cross-country teams were at Edmondson hosting the Oski Invitational. With more than 10 teams lining up before the race, the girls started off the day. OHS was led by freshman standout Bailey Blythe, who separated herself from the pack early. Blythe crossed the finish line in second place, clocking a 16:16. It was her third fastest time of the season. After the race, OSP pulled Blythe aside to get her reaction on the day's performance.
I'm just trying to stay up there, even as a freshman. I know a lot of girls have more experience, but I'm just trying to stay up there and give it my best.
As a whole, the team finished 6th out of 10 teams with 151 points. Williamsburg left with the title with a low score of 43. Shifting to the boys' side, Oskaloosa finished 3rd out of 11 teams with 102 points. Sophomore Skylar DeYoung was the top runner for Oskaloosa, placing 3rd with a time of 17 minutes and 23 seconds. His brother and fellow sophomore Spencer DeYoung finished in the top 10 as well, placing 9th after ending the race in 18 minutes and 12 seconds.
This week sparked the start of the golf season for the William Penn men, and well, that's probably as exciting as it's going to get. After that, it was pretty much a flat performance at the Mount Mercy Cropper Classic last Saturday and Sunday. The Statesmen Golfers finished 16th out of 19 teams with a final tally of 652 at the par 72 Hunter Ridge Golf Course. Mount Mercy dominated its low stroke total of 578 to keep its tournament title safe at home. Senior Adrian DeVillers was Penn's top golfer, tying 15th out of 113 golfers with a score of 150. The men have this weekend off to, well, gather themselves and to work on their swings.
2 weeks ago, Penn women's golf team had some of those same troubles when they started their season at the Mount Mercy Invitational in Marion, Iowa. But they were able to turn things around on day 2 to finish near the top. I visited with a few of the members of the team Wednesday as they prepared to have a better overall game this weekend in Wisconsin.
All of us knew what we had to do. We were in 4th place after day 1. There were 3 teams ahead of us.
The weather wasn't too bad. I mean, on Saturday we had a little bit of wind. That made the course play a little bit longer. It was a little bit more tricky. But I do think that it was, well, in my opinion, as a first timer, it was the nerves, definitely.
I remember telling Demi, like, there's nothing to be scared of. There's going to be many more tournaments after this one. I mean, it's the first one. Obviously, it's going to be a little nerve-wracking.
I've got a lot of hard work to do to try and get to some of the older girls, Maggie and Courtney, get to their level. But I'm really excited to carry on with it.
Last weekend, I think that was one of the things that got us was short game. But other than that, we're still working hard. We're not, changing anything the way we've been practicing and all that. So, going in, I'm pretty confident about this weekend at Viterbo. And we'll see how it goes.
When we return, the Lady Statesmen soccer team were all smiles this week. We'll tell you why as OSP continues after the break.
Promise me, son, not to do the things I've done. I'm gonna love you forever, forever and ever, amen.
I'm begging of you, please don't take my man.
I turned 21 in prison, doing life without parole.
The biggest stars, the classic hits, KIIC.
Go Hawks, go Cyclones!
Go to Mahaska and Oskaloosa for all things black and gold and cardinal and gold. It's one of the largest collections of sports gear for both teams anywhere in the state. Mahaska has it all, including the Tyler Sash Foundation collection of Get Better, Not Bitter shirts and wristbands. So who's your favorite team?
Hawkeyes, Cyclones! Hawkeyes, Cyclones!
Let everyone know with Hawkeye and Cyclone merchandise from Mahaska and Oskaloosa. It's big, really big.
What if there was a program
where I could express my individuality,
Create my visions, get the hands-on learning that I need,
a program where I could become something greater,
become something bigger?
When the Pizza Ranch bell is rung, an immediate response of significant movement ensues. As the bell is rung, salivating becomes prevalent. These behaviors occur due to the pull of crispy hand-breaded chicken and the pull of hot, melted real cheese on made-from-scratch dough with our fresh, manner-compromising sauce. And the appeal of our all-you-can-eat buffet can't be ignored. Pizza Ranch. And for delivery, give us a ring.
A huge burden has been lifted off the women's soccer program at William Penn. The Lady Statesmen were on a 17-game losing streak. That began a little over a year ago. That streak finally would end this weekend. In dominating fashion, the Navy and Gold blanked Harris-Stowe State, Missouri, 6-0 in Oskaloosa Sunday. Penn held advantage in shots on goal, 18-8. The 6 goals were the most for the program since September 10th, 2010, when it put 8 on the board over McMurray, Illinois. Currently, the women are 6-1 on the year, and the Lady Statesmen remain in Oskaloosa this Saturday, hosting Northwestern Iowa at 5 p.m.
Like the women, the men had little trouble controlling Harris-Stowe State 2-0. The Statesmen evened their record at 3-3 in a game which they outshot their opponent 24-7. In related news, Statesman goalkeeper Mason Bandy was a major factor in the win over Harris-Stowe State by not allowing a single goal. His efforts netted him this week's Defensive Player of the Week award. For the second time this season, Bandy has collected this honor. This fall, the sophomore has dropped his goal against average from 1.75 to 1.35 for the year. Bandy has 27 saves and 1 shutout. William Penn remains in Oskaloosa this Saturday, hosting Northwestern Iowa after the women's game at 7 p.m. That's it for this week's show. Be sure to catch replays of OSP at 10 p.m., Saturdays at 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. and 10 p.m., as well as Sundays at 8 a.m., 11 a.m. and 10 p.m. here on MCG Channel 7. And make sure you watch us and the rest of CRI's programming online at critv.org.
Jay, our little Midwest war is over. Iowa State came on top. What were your thoughts about the game?
I mean, it was a bad game overall, I think, for both teams. Very sloppy, you know. Sometimes it really just comes down to who's going to get that last touchdown. And I guess this year it's a red state.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. You know, I think play was sloppy on all ends, and you get down to those final seconds where they have to come up with 3 points. They weren't able to do it. For Jay Madison, I'm Jason Van Zett. We'll be back next Friday at 5 p.m. with a new episode of OSP.